Climbing back upon Mount Soapbox for another rant. Today we are ranting about the scalper bots when it comes to trying to get your hands on a PlayStation 5 and or Xbox Series X. Now, I've heard that there's certain parts of the world, like Ireland, according to my friend UG Outlaw, that actually have Xbox Series X's in store, in stock, but nobody in Ireland seems to really care for Xbox Series X's, which begs the question, why doesn't Microsoft simply take those Xbox Series X's, remove them from the stores in Ireland, and ship them to other parts of the world where there is interest in Xbox Series X, like America, for example? But I digress. One of the more popular things for people to try to get their hands on as a gamer, because we're always about the FOMO, fear of missing out, want to move on to the next best thing, and the next best thing in gaming right now is PlayStation 5 as well as Xbox Series X. And there's also those out there that, just like with every other situation in the past, whether it comes to concerts, etc., the scalpers are going to do what they do. You know, they want to make money. I get that. I totally understand. But the age of the internet really has given them an advantage over the average consumer. So whereas back in the old days, whenever you want to go to a concert, you had the opportunity to get the tickets in advance, just like the scalper had the opportunity. But thanks to scalper bots, as some of you are aware of, the consoles that these multi-billion-dollar websites have been selling, these corporations, Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, and the others, it seems like a lot of them are not exactly going directly into the hands of the consumers. More or less, they end up being sold to scalpers via scalper bots. Now, what has led to this high demand, this shortage of the PS5s and the Xbox Series X's? It's a lot of factors. Obviously, scalper bots, internet, technology, as well as the bug from last year. It slowed down production on the new consoles. And you could also equate this to the fact that there is chip shortages, apparently, and raw material shortages. That's also making it difficult for the companies that build and manufacture the Xbox Series X's and the PlayStation 5s to churn them out at a rate that meets the demand from the consumer. So that's another problem as well. Now, who's really to blame for the issues that a lot of consumers are having trying to get their hands on a PS5 and or Xbox Series X? Is it the scalpers who are simply just, at the end of the day, most of them are just trying to put food on the table, trying to survive? Though I do wave my finger at those of them that charge like twice as much, 3 times as much for a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. I understand you got to make a profit, just like in any other type of business or entrepreneurial activities. But if you go to eBay, it does seem like the prices are starting to become a little bit more reasonable. Still some twice as much, but I guess it really just depends on where you go. And you look at the rating, you make sure that it's somebody on eBay that is reliable, that has a trusted background, that is not going to screw you over. Because the truth is, from all these options you have here for the PS5, like some of these sellers could be legit, and you might actually get a brand new PS5 that hasn't been opened, and it might be delivered to you in a timely fashion, and then you may have no problems. But there's also the advantageous, shady types that exist on sites like Amazon and eBay as well. So you have to be very, very cautious about when you go through eBay and other sites that happen to be selling PS5s and Xbox Series X's through the scalpers. But I think the issue is a lot of customers right now are just saying, look, I will buy from you, scalper, but I'm not going to buy at twice as much. I'm definitely not going to buy at 3 times as much. So I think over time, as the scalpers have bought more of these consoles, they have come to probably realize that they need to lower the prices and try to get a little bit more reasonable and competitive, because that's what the market's all about, being competitive. So eventually, I feel like that's probably where a lot of gamers are going to end up getting their consoles, not through Walmart, not through Amazon or Best Buy or the other sites, but through places like eBay, for example. I realize that there is a way for you to sell via Amazon, technically, not officially. I don't think Amazon really likes that too much, but at the end of the day, I have to wonder if that's actually the case, because if these multi-billion-dollar corporations really cared about making sure that these PS5s and Xbox Series X's were being sold to actual consumers and gamers like myself and you and others, then I think they would do a better job of putting up safeguards when it comes to the online sales of the PS5s and the Xbox Series X's, because every time I have tried to get my hands on, for example, a PS5 over the past few months, through either Walmart or Amazon most recently, it's the same problem. You jump on right away and you try to add it to your cart, error, 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 error. You get the idea. You've probably been there, done that, got the t-shirt. At least with Amazon, you get these pretty dogs that appear like, sorry, here's a cute dog to look at. Here's another cute dog. You know, those of us that like doggos, and I guess it doesn't rage us as much as trying to go through a Walmart. And then you have to verify yourself, and you have to do the, pick out the buses or the fire hydrants, bicycles, crosswalks, because you're having to refresh so many times in order to try and add a PS5 or an Xbox Series X to your account, to your cart, so you can buy it. But then the Walmart thinks that you're a bot. But meanwhile, the scalper bots managed to somehow nab all the consoles before consumers get their hands on it. Then again, it's also quite possible with the popularity of both these consoles that there's just a ton of people jumping over to Amazon and Walmart and Best Buy when they become available. And there's so many people trying to buy it that maybe it's just too much demand and not enough supply. That could be an issue as well. But I still feel like the scalper bots are probably still getting most of the standalone versions of the Xbox Series X as well as the PS5. The solution I have noticed is to wait for the opportunity to purchase via a bundle or a package deal, basically the same thing. The problem with that is, of course, it's going to cost you more than $500 for the deluxe edition of the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. But at the same time, some of those bundles are actually good deals. They come with some decent games. They come with an extra controller, sometimes a gift card, sometimes a headset. So that usually is the better chance for you to actually get a console via one of the retailers, like I mentioned, Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart, Amazon, etc. Even though some of them that I just mentioned don't really do bundles. I don't think Target does bundles. I don't think Walmart does either. So you really have to go to places that actually do bundles and packages. Like, for example, I think Costco did, as well as GameStop, obviously. That's where I got my PS5 a few months ago. And, of course, you got Best Buy as well that does bundles, a.k.a. packages. It's just a timing situation. You have to kind of keep your eye on like certain streaming sites that keep you apprised to when things are restocking at which stores, certain Twitter accounts and YouTube channels. It really does sometimes feel like a second job, a full-time job, just trying to get your hands on either one of those new consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X. So really it comes down to action equals reaction. Obviously there is a demand for the new consoles. Therefore, there are opportunists out there, especially with the way the world has gotten economically, with the bug taking a huge blow to the economy, and a lot of people losing their jobs and unemployment levels and desperation to try and survive, put food on the table, pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, and feed your family. I can sympathize and humanize scalpers, but at the same time, I still think that a lot of them are charging ridiculous prices for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, but at the same time, this is nothing new. There's been plenty of things in the past that people have really wanted, and they have been willing to pay extremely insane amounts of money for particular items that really didn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, that's about consumer responsibility, which is action reaction. If you think that it's okay to spend $1,000 or $1,500 on a $500 console, well, it's your money. But at the same time, I feel like that I'd rather just wait till more of them become available, or maybe go to one of the various sites as I've mentioned and find a seller that has, I guess, a good track record, a good rating, good reviews, and buy from them. But be sure and read everything before you buy, because I have heard stories, whether or not they're true or not, that some have been buying what they thought was a PS5, and then once they get something in the mail, it turns out to be a photo of the PS5, and then they have to go back, and to their horror, they didn't read the description section. Unbeknownst to them, they didn't realize they were spending hundreds of dollars on just a photo of a PS5, not an actual console. So once again, that is about consumer responsibility. Know what you're buying. Read the fine print and the details, and make sure, if you're not going to go through one of the multi-billion-dollar corporations, if you're going to go through eBay or somewhere else, make sure that the seller is somebody that has a good rating, good reviews, that has had good product sales in the past, happy customers as well that have left reviews for them, and make sure that it's actually new, not refurbished. And at the end of the day, it really is a risk, a buyer beware situation. But hopefully in the near future, we will have more PS5s and Xbox Series X's in stock, where we can get past these shortages, and people that want to buy one, that have the money to purchase a PS5 and Xbox Series X, will be able to do so in hopefully the near future. But until then, if you're going to go a certain route, whether it's Facebook Marketplace, eBay, etc., just be very cautious about who you happen to be buying from. Yes, most of them are probably simply just trying to make some money, trying to survive, but there's also real scammers out there and people out there for more nefarious purposes that you should be aware of. So in conclusion, most of the blame, in my opinion, goes towards the multi-billion-dollar corporations, because they don't really seem to care about putting up necessary safeguards, or like a reservation system where you could go in and reserve a PS5 or an Xbox Series X in advance and then just get put on a waiting list. And eventually, when your turn comes up, then they send you an order. They give you like 24 hours to confirm it, and then they eventually ship you your PS5 and our Xbox One X. It's like Black Friday almost every week now, thanks to these online restocks of the PS5 and Xbox Series X's. So there's a lot of things I think that the multi-billion-dollar corporations could do to make this a lot easier for the consumer. But at the same time, we know exactly what these corporations really care about. They don't really care about the virtual signaling or all the other nonsense that they're spewing all the damn time on the social medias. All they really care about is money, money, money. That, at the end of the day, is all they actually give a damn about. It could be your money. It could be a scalper's money. The point here is, all they really care about is getting paid. They don't give a damn where that money is coming from, even if they are, as a result, pissing off their customers in the process, who have been faithful and have bought for them over the years, whether buying through Walmart, Amazon, etc. But now I want to know, who do you personally blame for the shortages, for the scalper bots, for all this nonsense that have happened over the past months since the launch of the Xbox Series X and the PS5, and your own personal stories? Have you been able to get a PS5 and our Xbox Series X? How easy or difficult has it been? And what advice and suggestions would you give others that are trying to get themselves a PS5 and our Xbox Series X? As always, welcome below in the comments section.